Our lives might just be a story, but there are really some times where it feels like we're closing the chapter of one section of that story and then opening a brand new blank page to start a new chapter. Hey, good morning everyone, and welcome to another vlog. My name is Stuart, and either welcome or welcome back to the channel. I might be getting in some new viewers at this point as I start to close one chapter and start another, so welcome to those of you who are new. First of all, please excuse the fact that I look like I have not gotten my hair fixed, but it's because I haven't. I just got up not that long ago. I also have to get ready for work. I've kind of been feeling mixed emotions, as I think anyone would with the closing of one chapter and the starting of another. I'm really excited, a little nervous about this next little bit here. I just got my schedule yesterday and it's crazy. Like, there's not much consistency at all. Like, and I'm really gonna have to stay on top of things and have multiple planners. Like, it's not like university where I made my schedule and everything was the same between Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and then Tuesday, Thursday. So it was really easy to memorize after a few weeks. This one is crazy. Like, I'm gonna have to have basically a planner to show what classes I need to be in on a particular day. So it's gonna be kind of crazy that way. The thing that makes me the most, I don't know what the proper word is, apprehensive or kind of scared about this is how much work you have to put in outside of class versus inside of class. So, like, I'm in classes a lot longer in this program than I ever was in university. So, like, there were some days where the days were really long because I had a lab that was once a week. But this one, there's actually classes scheduled. So I don't know how much class time is actually dedicated to working on stuff like either collaborating with other people, working on different assignments. I don't know if it's like that because I'm going based upon what it was in university. And in university, you went to lecture and it was up to you to basically understand the material after that. I don't know how to word this, but there wasn't a lot of time to work in class on something. Like labs, you had to do everything in the lab besides, you had to do a lab report like what I had to do in third year, which was basically like writing a scientific paper, and we did 3 of them. I don't really know like how much time I'm going to need to be able to study on my own outside of class, and that's the part right now that is kind of like, if this is the same level and credit weighting as what they have in university, like 1 credit is equal to a high school class, but 3 credits is like university level. There are a few classes that are actually worth 3 credits. So it's going to be insane. Now those classes do run the whole semester. I have 2 classes that were basically done mid-September because they're only 1 credit, but like you're doing that in like a couple of weeks. Another thing that's going to be very different is not only the Zoom part of it, but having 2 hours of classes directly back to back is not something I was used to. So like usually, like, so when I went to the U of S, it was 50-minute classes and then 10 minutes to transfer between classes. That's going to be very different. It's going to be like clicking off of one Zoom and going on to another, basically. So that's also going to be very different. When you're doing something from 8 until 4:30 every day, doesn't leave much time to rest, do other things that you need to do, while also keeping up with the content. Now, there are a few days where, at least right now, the schedule changes and can change without very little warning. We've been warned about that. But taking advantage of those periods of time when there's blocks of free hours, I think is going to be really critical. And it's nice because there are certain times where there is chunks of time where we actually do have no classes scheduled. So that is going to be really critical, and not wasting that time, I think, is going to be really important. Just based upon my own experience, I know that kind of started to happen in university too, where you get a few minutes here and there that you normally wouldn't expect. And if you just sat there and did nothing, you were actually kind of wasting your time when you could have been doing something. It is important to rest, but it's taking advantage of those hours and not like, scrolling through social media when you could be doing something else, basically. I'm actually going to, in next week's vlog, I'm going to do a preparation vlog for the next vlog. These are going to be a week behind in terms of real time when they get released. But in my next vlog, I'm actually going to go through, and I have a lot of stuff I have to like sit there, write out, and look at more in depth. I mean, I took some time last night to actually go through the schedule. I took a little bit of time actually even during my break yesterday, my morning break, because I had the schedule, I think, by like, it wasn't very long after I got to work, so maybe 9:30, 10 o'clock yesterday. And I looked at it and went, oh my, this isn't going to be something I'm going to be able to look at in 5 minutes. This is something I'm going to take time. And then last night, when I actually had the time to go through it a little bit, I was like, oh my, I'm going to have a lot of planning work to do. I'm glad I have days, a couple of days next week where I can actually do some prep work. A lot of my prep work actually is already done. Getting school supplies is done. Organizing them to where I want them is pretty much done. The only thing I have to do now is move the printer down. I've got my planner. I need to write it out. I also am going to keep my planner in. I want to figure out how I can do this maybe for my phone. I wonder if there's a way I can do it with Outlook on my phone. I do have Outlook on my phone because that's what we use for our email, and it's been really handy. I set it to send me push notifications whenever I get a new email from my school account, and it's been working really well. So like every time I get an update now, it doesn't matter if I'm at work, at home, or where I am, I get that update really fast, and I can actually read it on my phone as well, for the most part, as long as it's not on the other thing that we use, which I could actually get that app on my phone, but I haven't decided whether I want it on my phone yet. I'm hoping for the most part to be able to take my computer wherever I need to be, because I don't want to pay for the mobile version of Anki. In terms of like how I'm actually feeling about everything, I've actually, like, it's been weird. So before, when I used to get really stressed out, my mind would race at like 10,000 miles an hour. It's one of the reasons why I started meditation to begin with. My mind now is so quiet. It's almost purely silent. Like there's none of that racing 100 miles an hour. It is very freeing. On the other hand, and I say this with emphasis, I feel everything in my body now. So my body is responding in so many different ways to this upcoming change. Whether it's feeling the butterflies, feeling that uneasiness, feeling, how you get when you get excited, all of that. Well, that's how it's feeling right now, very consistently, actually. It's gonna be, I think, Thursday and Tuesday. So, like, a week from today is my last day, which is crazy, because after I can start saying pretty much my last day is Tuesday. And it's not really my last day, because I'm fortunate enough to be able to stay casual, but I'm not going to be working nearly as much as what I have been. I've been pretty much full time for the last couple of years, which has been a nice little experimentation to see how well I can handle everything. But, it's been kind of insane too, because it's kind of been a really good test on how my head handles everything and all of that. So, but yeah, I'm gonna have breakfast now. I hope to see you guys in another segment. If I don't, this will be the video for the week. If I don't see you tomorrow, if I don't decide to vlog it all tomorrow, I will see you on Thursday. Hey everyone, so it's Tuesday night now, and I just wanted to come on here because... Sorry, I'm gonna try to keep this together. I wanted to come on here because of emotions that I've been experiencing. So I just actually got out of the shower. It's why my hair is so soaking wet. And I think it's hitting because a week from tonight and my relationship with work will not be the same thing. And although with this time that I'm going to school, I get to be at home for like 99% of my first year, so there's not the saying goodbyes and that sort of way like there was the first time I went to school. Spend as many hours a day as what you do with your work family, basically. And then to just have that all of a sudden change, it's still a really big change. And I think people underestimate how much that impacts you. To be honest, I wish that particular part of the change didn't have to happen. Unfortunately, sometimes in order to do something bigger, better, you do have to say goodbye to some of the things that you actually really like in order to make that step. I have tomorrow, Thursday, and Tuesday before I'm like done, but it's, or not done, but I am vastly reduced in hours to almost basically nothing, and then am casual from there. So it's going to be a very different experience, and I'm not going to see some of the staff every day because of some of them only work weekdays. Or not very often. There's potential probably if I have breaks and all of that, but it's going to be me having to decide how much I want to work during those breaks. Now that it's actually here and it's staring you in the face, it's a little harder to go, yeah, but it's not yet. It's not now. Now that it's getting to that point of now, it's very obviously hard. That's how I'm feeling right now. It just kind of hit me in the shower. Things usually do because I can be meditating on things and feeling into certain things when I'm in the shower. And it's just like, yeah, it's a week out from being done work until mid-September. I'm feeling really excited though about what's next. So, like, that's really good. Like, there's no regrets. There is some hesitation, as I've talked about before, with how much of a workload am I getting myself into and all of that. But it's just like, I know what the end has potential for. I know I like it. That's going to add some pressure for me to do really well. I'm really bad at adding extra pressure to myself anyways, I always have. I've been really hard on myself for a very long time, and it's one of the reasons probably why I developed the anxiety that I did, because there's an aspect of perfectionism in that, and there's an aspect of I want to do really, really well. There wasn't really an end goal with why I wanted to have really high marks, because I wasn't going into medicine. I wasn't trying to get into professional college, but there was still that pressure that I put on myself to continue to do well. So, you know, that's definitely there, and I have a feeling it could be just as strong or maybe even stronger this time, because there's going to be a lot of pressure for exams and doing well on assignments and all of that stuff again. I've got a lot of emotions about this, but it's a necessary thing that I want to do in order to further my career. So it's going to be worth it, but I'm sure, like everything, there's going to be growing pains. But yeah, so that's what I wanted to add to the vlog tonight. And just gonna take it easy. I've been basically soaking in as much free time as I can lately, because there's gonna come a point where I'm not gonna have like any free time. In fact, I'm probably gonna be wishing there was more hours in a day. So for now, that's it, and hope to see you again soon. Hey, good morning, everyone. So it is Thursday. I'm just gonna come on here and wrap up the vlog. I'm just actually right before my second last day of work right now. I actually woke up crying this morning and spent a lot of my meditation crying, but since I felt pretty good, which is the reason why I do it, feeling right into the body, feeling everything in the moment was exactly what was needed. Now, I don't know how I'm going to react throughout the day, probably for up until when other people are done, and saying goodbye is when it's going to be the hardest, but I'll let you know how it goes. Probably not in this vlog, but I'll probably mention it next week. Please subscribe and like the video if you enjoy my videos and want to see more. And love you guys, and hope to see you again next week. Bye, everyone.